Hello everyone, this is John Ward with Appalachian Channel and welcome to another edition of the Appalachian Kitchen with Ann Baker. She has been here, I think this is her third visit with us, and we're excited to have her back today. And boy, she has a variety of things that she's going to make today, including fried green tomatoes, and we're excited about it. And she's going to show us what she's going to make right here, and she's going to show the ingredients before she gets started. So if you want to come right on over here, Dustin, and let her explain some of the things she's going to be using today.
I'm going to make cream style corn. I'm going to cut this off the cob, and I'm going to use a lot of butter in that. This will go with my potatoes. I'm going to make potato soup. I'm also going to make fried green tomatoes. And if you've never had salt pork as a meat for supper or dinner or breakfast, it can be used either. I'm going to fix that today along with it.
What's the eggs going to be used for there?
The eggs will go into the apple cake that I'll be making today. And this is my ingredients.
Now tell us about that pan that you're going to be using.
This pan belonged to my daddy's mother, and it was given to me 40-some years ago, is how that pan is. I still use it. I believe it's getting, it's wearing out, but I still use that pan. I make most of my bundt cakes in this pan, even though I have more and fancier bundt cakes. I make them in that.
That one just has special memories.
This belonged to my mother's mother, and I have two of these, and they were given to my mother when my grandma died, and then my mother gave them to me because I'm the cook and the baker in the family. And once upon a time I was embarrassed because the spoons look like this. You can polish them, but it seemed like the polish wore off quick. And I said, I got over that. I just like it like this, so that's the way.
So that's silver then?
I guess.
I've never had silver spoons, so I guess you have to polish them to keep that finish on them.
Yeah, but I've had these. I don't know. I've had these a long time. Mother gave me these long before she even passed away. She let me have these. Do these.
And tell us what this is. I've never seen that before.
This is a dough hook if you make bread. I do homemade breads, and this is easy. Instead of putting them in the KitchenAid or using your hand to mix them up, you can use this dough hook. And I found by using this dough hook, I can also mix up cake mixes, cookie mixes, and a lot of things. So I really like this. I like that.
All righty, you ready to get started?
I'm ready to get started. Okay, the first thing I'm going to do is peel my apples. And I know that some people says I don't peel them close enough to the skin, but I'm easy to get cut, and I really don't want to get cut. I do have a peeler. I brought John a peeler today. But I don't use the peeler unless I'm doing something like carrots or celery on it. And all I'm going to do is peel these, and then I'm going to chop them up. I cube my apples. Sometimes people will kindly cook them a little bit before they make their cake, but I don't do that. I think you're taking away from the taste. Once upon a time I made a cake, an apple cake for a church dinner, and I decided I was going to mix two recipes together to do it. Well, I'd done that, and I started baking, and it baked, and it baked, and it baked, and it baked, and I thought, I don't know. So I was talking to my mom, and I said, I don't know whether to take that cake or not, because it was crunchy on the top, and I was afraid people would get choked on it. And she said, well, just take it over there. She said, set it down. Don't let nobody see you set it down so they won't know who did it. And so I did that. And so when we went to church that night, I think it was that night, somebody come and said, Anna, did you bake that apple cake? And I said, yeah, was it that bad? She said, no. She said everybody loved it. Said they were eating the crumbs off of it. And then, unfortunately, when I went back to make that cake again, I forgot which two recipes that I had used. So, apple cakes are easy to make once you get them peeled up. The only thing is And I think when it's getting fall of the year, I really love to make the apple stuff then. I went, this past week I've been making apple butter. I decided I tried 2 different apples this year. So I made us some apple butter to eat. I don't can a lot or do a lot like I used to, but I'm hoping that we're looking for land. I hope we find some so I can have a little garden. I usually use about 3 apples, sometimes 4, but usually 3 is the best for me. And I'll just, I always like to put some lemon. You can put salt water in them if you want to, but if you do lemon, then that keeps them from turning colors. So what I'll just do is just start chopping them up. You can also, when you bake apple cake, you can put some kind of icing on it or a sauce on it if you want to, but usually I just make the cake and that's it. This is, when I was a little girl growing up, we used to have an apple orchard on the street that we lived in. It was a June apple tree, or some call them transparent. And when we were little, we'd go get salt shakers. The gentleman and the lady that lived there, she was the school counselor. They never did say nothing to us. I mean, they had a whole orchard. We'd go in there and we'd get them apples and we'd just sit there and with our salt shaker and eat those apples, and they was the best apples there was. A lot of times though, we ate too early, they weren't ripe yet, and we'd end up with diarrhea. That was rough. And the corn that I'm gonna be fixing after a while, that was a thing. We used to smoke corn silks. We'd get paper bags and wrap them corn silks up and smoke them. I ran around. My brother, at one time, I was little, so I just go run with him and go to the woods, and we'd swing off grapevines, and I look back now, we had a good time, but it's a wonder we didn't get killed or get snake bit. The time just taken to cut this. You can actually do a chopper too if you want to. Would save time. But sometimes cooking is, I think, a time to you're to yourself. You don't have nobody really bothers you while you're cooking. You can think, or it's a peaceful to me to cook. Sometimes I have to run my husband out, especially if I'm making bacon or some kind of meat, because he wants to sample it before the dinner's ready. And I'm always telling him to stop it. Okay. Now, what I'm going to do, I'm going to put my eggs, and I know some people put them in a bowl by themselves before they put them in a glass dish. I don't do that. I just do this. Now it says I have to have 2 cups of sugar. And I need 1.5 cups of oil. I'm going to add, that's 3 eggs, 2 cups of sugar, and I'm going to add 1.5 cup of oil to this. So I'll put 1/2 cup of oil in this, right there. And that's the first thing. And I'm just going to mix this up. This, okay, now, this has 3 cups of flour, plain flour, 1 teaspoon of soda, 1 teaspoon of salt, 2 teaspoons of cinnamon, half a teaspoon of allspice, and 1/4 teaspoon of nutmeg. So I'm going to mix that in here. And if you do use a mixer, you have to really stop once you start getting this mixed up because it gets really too thick. And you got to add your apples and your nuts. And one thing about this recipe, sometimes I'll use, with my apples, I'll put raisins in it and I'll put coconut in it. We'll just fancy it up. It's what we do. Ooh, yeah. Okay, kind of gets just get all this mixed up in this. Okay. You think, oh, this looks bad, but it'll turn out. I'm gonna get this out. Then I'm gonna put my apples in. And I'm going to put my, do you see my, here it is. I'm going to put about 1.5 teaspoons of vanilla. And they say this equals 1 teaspoon the lid cover. And you have to remember your apples will put off liquid themselves. So that will moisten when you make it. Now I've got to put, you can put 1 cup to 1.5 cups of nuts. My husband always says put more nuts in it than what it calls for because he likes nuts in his dessert. And these are pecans. You can use walnuts. Now, I'm like I told you before, my daddy's family's Hungarians, and even in the cookbooks, I have never seen pecans used. All the recipe calls for walnuts. So I don't know if they didn't have pecans over in Hungary or what, but they don't. But everything is walnuts. Okay. Let me get my spray. Let me wash my hands. Then I'll take out, you can use oil and flour, but I just use this is Pam spray. Use that, let me get this real good. Okay, what I do, just do it like this. Try to get it mixed around where Okay, this will go in the oven at a preheated at 350 degrees and bake for 1 hour. This is in the oven, 350 for 1 hour. Let's hope you always hope it turns out good. The next thing we're going to make is the tomatoes, the fried tomatoes. And my tomatoes aren't fancy. What I do is just slice them. And the thickness is up to you, how thick you want them. And what I do, I like to slice them, and then I like to put them in buttermilk and let them soak. Because my cake will take an hour. Just watch your cake, because everybody's ovens are different. And all this, I try to get everything timed and come off at the same time. I mean, to eat, so one won't be cold. Let's get this done. Okay, now I get the buttermilk. You can use other things. Some people will just dip theirs in egg and milk. There's different things you can do. I just like this better. I don't know why. I don't know if it helps tenderize the tomatoes or what. I don't know, but I do like it. I'm not a scientific person when it comes to cooking. I just do what works for me. Let me get rid of this. Now, I need to do the corn. I'll just do the corn right here. Okay, my next thing is I'll be cutting the corn up. What you try to do is get the little silks off of it. Sometimes you can get them off all, and sometimes you can't. If you've got a brush, you can take and scrub them. I like a corn that's a little bit thicker. But my husband likes it like this because he says the corn tastes better. So what I'll do is just, sometimes this will make a mess. It goes everywhere. And it depends on how many people you have in the family, the corn you'll use. Probably for like Dustin and John, 4 ears would be enough for a meal to do. I'm getting ready to put corn up this week, Thursday probably. I cut it off the cob and cream it. I've tried different ways to just put it on the cob, and it always has a waterlogged taste or something. It's just never been any good, but it's good if you cut it off and cream it. And one thing about this, when I cook this, I will put sugar in it, and of course butter, and I like a lot of butter. I'm like Paula, the more butter you have, the more better it is. And I always, like if I'm gonna fix this and freeze it, I won't do nothing else because I have to concentrate on that corn. And when I cook it, I'll put butter and I'll put milk in it. And the reason you have to really concentrate, if you don't, that milk can scorch so that your corn's ruined there. If you're busy and everything, if I'm busy and won't be able to keep watching it, then I'll put water in it until when it's about done, then I'll go ahead and put my milk in it and watch it at that time. Corn's good though, and I think this year we've had a good corn crop. I said, you know, probably back in the olden days where people raised a garden, they probably had more corn than they did cornmeal, that they could make cornmeal than instead of flour. Because as far as I know, I don't ever heard anybody in our area making flour. Cornmeal they do. They did, and they grind it. And I remember as a little girl we would go and buy it, and it wasn't ground thin like it is now. It always had like husk in it. You'd have to shake it to get it, but that was good corn. That was good cornbread back then. I don't know what all they put in the cornmeal this time, but it doesn't seem like the old timey. So what I'm going to do is put about half a cup of sugar in this. We want it to be sweetened. And I'm going to put butter in this. Like I said, I put at least a whole, these 2 small sticks equals 1 whole stick. So I put that much in it, at least. And then I usually put this in a skillet, so I'll get the skillet. Okay, I'm just going to put this in here. And my hands are clean. And I'll just put this in here. And I will cook this on probably 30 minutes before the cake gets done and start working on it. Now I'm going to cut my potatoes up. Now I'm going to get my potatoes cut up and get them ready. We'll get these cut. And I always just cube these. I don't do nothing but cube them. This is, potato soup's good. I think in the fall and winter and spring. It's been so hot this summer that we've really not had any. I just do that and cube them like that. And now you may want to make yours smaller, and that's fine. Everybody's different. The way they do it. There's a lot of different recipes out there. My mother used to help one of her friends. The rescue squad would have bingo once a week, and they did the little kitchen, and my mother always made potato soup, and it would be, people would come early just to get that potato soup. It would be gone in no time. But they would always sell it because both of them was good cooks, so they always sold the food out. I guess they done it until that was in their older. I guess she was probably in her 70s, and they done that until I guess they just got the point they was getting more disabled. They couldn't do it, so that was really extra income for them by doing that. But we did, you know, back. No, I'm sure if we hadn't had a garden when I was growing up, we'd have went hungry. We had big gardens when I was growing up. I don't think my husband I was talking to, he said he didn't have a pizza until he went into the service. And I was probably a junior in high school. And then my mother, she started making them. And she made them for it was our senior party. She made a lot of them for the seniors that night. And they probably was like me, they didn't have much, so we thought they were delicious. So it's just where you grow up, what you eat. I said I would like to be young and travel and go to these places with the different spices or the different recipes to see how they eat. I have a friend, she's from the Philippines, and now when she makes spaghetti, what they don't use hamburger, they use like wieners, like hot dog wieners, and that's what they put in their spaghetti. And so that's odd. For us, that's odd, but for them, that's normal. And I know, I was talking to her one day, we was talking about how we make green beans. Some people might let their green beans stay liquid with pot liquor, and some of us, we always cooked ours down. And she said, we was talking, and I said, well, I said, down south, we cook our green beans down, and I think up north they do the pot liquor, have the liquid on it. And she said, well, we cook our green beans down. And I said, you do too? She said, yeah. She said, in the Philippines, I was from the south. The north kept their pot liquor too. So it was funny. Okay, let me put my potatoes in my pot. We'll get that. One thing about this, you can, if you've got leftovers, you can save it and eat on it the next day. You can do the corn the same way. There's no issue with that either. Now, there, I brought John one today, so let me get it done. Sometimes I do this and sometimes I don't. It just depends on what the celery looks like. I know lately the celery doesn't seem to last long like it used to. Seems to go bad. So you can cut it up and freeze it if you need to. So I'll just slice this, slice that. I don't know what that looks bad. Let me do, I just do tiny little pieces right there. And if you don't like celery, you don't have to put it in. I just think it tastes a little bit better. Celery and onions. I think that goes together pretty good. This is another, I put, sometimes I'll just put water in this until it gets done, and then I'll add maybe some milk if I don't have any chicken broth or the chicken cubes. But I use there's a new thing out, and I have to keep it in the refrigerator. It's something chicken, you can do a beef too. It's about a teaspoonful, and it's really good. So let me do this, and then I've got an onion. And we'll get this onion chopped and done. And, of course, I put butter in this. I just do that like that. It's easier for me. You cut your onion up however you like. Okay. We'll get this done, then I'll put a stick of butter, half stick, whatever you want. Put that in it. And salt and pepper is to your preference. Always to your, because some's low salt and some's high salt. Let me do this. Okay, there we go. Now let me get some broth. Usually I'll just put a half a can in. I don't put a whole can in because I don't want it to taste like chicken. I want it to be potato flavor. And then I'll mix it with some water. Okay, now I'm going to go over to the stove. There, I'll put that in there. Let me use this. I need that. So I'm going to salt and pepper it. And then I'll salt and pepper it when it gets done too. And I'm going to salt and pepper the corn. And celery seeds. I just put a little bit there. A lot of people don't. Wonder how many minutes that's got left. Do you know? Because I'll put this in about. Okay, this will be good, and I'll put this in about 20 minutes. Okay. The next thing we're going to do is do the salt pork. Some people calls it fatback, some people calls it salt pork. I like the Hormel better than anything I have tasted before, so that's what I buy. And one thing about this piece of meat, you can eat it breakfast, lunch, supper. It does not matter. You can eat it with biscuits, you can eat it with cornbread, you can eat it on a piece of bread. And this is the first time there. It's beginning to get better now. And it's easy to fix, and it's better if you bake it in the oven. So a lot of times when I bake in the oven, what all I have in there, I kindly time what time to put it in and take it out. So I wish a woman needs more than one oven for sure. Because if you've got things that are cooking at different temperatures, then it's hard to put them all together. And then I'll bake this about 10 minutes in the oven, then I'll get it and turn it over. And I'll start with maybe 5 minutes and work up. It really doesn't take long to do it. And I use a lot of the fatback grease. Save it. It's really not, it doesn't per se flavor. It's not like bacon. It doesn't give off a flavor like bacon. And I'd rather do this. I don't want, a lot of people use bacon, but I don't want that bacon flavor in everything I eat. And I love bacon. We eat bacon every day for breakfast almost. So, but I'll get this in just a few minutes. Oh, I'm sorry. Now, here's my grease. Let me get started just a minute. I'll bring my tomatoes over here too. Yeah, I'll bring it over there. I need some, I'm going to do some water first. For my corn, I got some milk, but I'll wait and do my water. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and start cutting my corn on and my potatoes on because I've got about 30 minutes. this one. I bet that was that one. Oh, wait a few minutes for that one. Okay, I got that.
This is the front.
Yeah. Oh, okay, it's got, I see now. It's there. Okay, what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to go ahead and put some water in it right now, and then I've got milk to put in it as well. And again, corn, if you do your corn, it's got milk in the corn too, not like that milk, but it's got milk in it. So we'll get all this started. I don't like to cook it fast. I like to cook it slower. And I think that helps it. I think the taste and the flavor is better if you do that. So your salt and pepper, you got your corn, you got your butter, and we will use a little bit of milk, a little bit of water right now, then we'll get some milk once this starts getting done. And then this is just the potatoes. Also, it's got potatoes, celery and onions, chicken broth and water. So we'll get that done as well. So hopefully all this will turn out good. My tomatoes, I won't do my tomatoes right now. I want to give it about 15 minutes before everything gets done so it'll get hot. So I'm going to go ahead and put my meat in the oven. Put it like that. So I'll put that in. I have to watch it now. I don't want it to burn. And I'm going to clean the mess up, and then we'll be back. He's this time.
Yeah, he's getting used to it more.
Sorry, I'm just getting some.
Oh, so we're oh good. Yeah, he's getting. Oh yeah, I really enjoyed it.
Let me show you some of the footage.
Okay. And I usually do my green tomatoes with cornmeal, and I'll do a little bit of flour. And again, I like to do it in my bag so I don't make a mess, and I can just throw the bag away. And the grease, use any kind of oil that you use. And I don't know, maybe that's in this skillet, that's probably a half a cup that I put in there. I should have measured it, but I didn't. And I just put this around here. A lot of people will do I don't know, they'll dip their tomatoes in, it looks like a pancake dip. I've tried that, but mine just never turned out right, so I went back to what I do easy. It's always good to try things out. If you fail, you fail. If you want to try again, do it. Sometimes I'll do it, make sure I can do it, and then I'll go back to my way. And then sometimes I'll go ahead and do what it is. But my grandkids come last week to see me, and one of my granddaughters said, we saw you on TV. I said, well, what did you think on TV? They said, you didn't shut up, you talked the whole time. She said, I wish you'd have shut up some. I said, well, that's not fair, I have to talk, they told me to. And then she said, my cousin, I was talking to her, she said, I wish you'd smile more while you're on camera. So, I guess next week I'll need a makeup artist to come. But John had asked me to bring something and show you, so I'm going to bring something. This is this quilt is old now. My great aunt, I can remember when I was a little girl, I didn't know what cancer was, but I knew that back then if you said you had cancer, that was a death sentence. But she had made this quilt and gave it to my mother, and she died in about, I guess, around 1963, somewhere in there. But I remember going up to see her, and it was a dark room, and she wanted me to sit on her bed. And I sat on the side of her bed, and she would just pat me. And I think for some reason, I feel that that's the reason I love working with cancer patients. I had the opportunity to work briefly with them, and I think that was my favorite job as a nurse, was being an navigator, oncology navigator. But anyway, my mother came one day, and sometimes I think that you know that you're going to pass away because you start giving things away and you'll start saying things. And she said, I want you to have this quilt that Aunt Mary made and gave to me. I want you to have it. So this quilt's very special to me. I don't use it because it is falling apart. I'm going to see if I can get somebody to fix it. But when I was 4 years old, my mother said I would say I want to be a nurse. I'm going to be a nurse, and I said it all my life. And I just feel that that was what God called me to do. That's what I was supposed to do. Now, was I the best nurse ever was? No, but I tried to be. When my father died, I hadn't been an RN long, and I remember saying, I will do everything I can to take care of my patients. I felt that my daddy, by him dying at 54, I felt that we could have done something different that I didn't do, that I missed. But I always said, I'm going to do and try to take care of my patients and I tried. I worked in the jail, I tried. I did psych, and I tried. And oncology patients, not just them, but their families. Oh, a lot of times people would just call me every day just to talk, they needed to talk, and that was it. So nursing is a great profession, and I love it I still love it. I worked 39 years as a nurse, but it was time. My body was getting old, and it was time for me to retire. So that's what I did. And that's my blanket. Now, you get your grease hot before you put them in, because you don't want to just soak there and soak up the grease. And I just put them in. Let me see. And what I try to do is just cook them on each side until they get crusty, and then I'll flip them over. Let's do that, and then we'll turn this. And then I just keep check on my corn and my potatoes. Get rid of this. I'll have to put that in a plate or something. What do you want me to put that in? I think I'm going to get this out. Let me have this. I'll get some paper. I'm going to get that so that'll soak it up. Okay. Now let me turn this back up just a little bit and get them. Oops. Let's see something. Almost. Let me see. Let me turn that meat over. Get it turned over. Put that back in there. Get that out. Woo! I may turn that back over a little bit. Let me see here. Okay, I'm going to check my corn. Let me see if it's done. Make one here. Let's go. My corn is about done, so I'm going to go ahead and put my milk in it. Let it cook a while, about 3 minutes. Get this done. Cut the stove off. Now I'm going to make me a cornstarch and water to thicken this up a little bit. So let me do that. One heaping, because I'll have to have some for my potatoes too. Okay, and I don't have cold water. Let's mix this with cold water. It'll clog. Okay, here we go. Okay. Now this is my cornstarch. I have about 3 tablespoons of cornstarch in this, and then I add cold water. You can't add hot water. So I'm going to pour. I just pour a little bit at a time because you don't want to get it too thick. You want to kind of make it creamy. That's what you want. If you get it too thick, all you taste is the cornstarch. You don't want that. Okay. Just let that cook. Now, I'm going to take this. I'm going to add that milk to it. I'm going to salt it again. I salt and pepper quite a bit, but there's not much salt comes out of these. Now, I'll get it warmed up a little bit. Let it start boiling again. Then I'm going to go back over here. I'm going to put the cornstarch solution in it to thicken it up. You can put cream in this. You can put, I put cream or milk when I do the very end of it. Because you don't want it too thin, but you don't want it so thick either. And I have made it where I've made it too thin and too thick. You have to keep your eyes now on all this stuff when it starts boiling, because you sure don't want it to scorch. But I've scorched it before. Get busy and not think about it. That's it. Okay, I'm gonna cut that off. Now my potatoes, I'm gonna add a little bit more to hit that. I've got the heat cut off of this, but I keep stirring. If you had hot pepper, would go good with this, and green tomatoes. One of my favorite meals my mommy fixed would be fried corn, biscuits, ripe tomatoes, and hot pepper. That was one of my favorite meals. She would call me, and when I was working back in Virginia, and she said, stop by on your way home and said, I've got your meal fixed for you. So she'd fix it. Very simple meal, but very good. Very good. A lot of times, people don't have a meat every time they sit down to eat. They have to make do with what they have. And I guess that's why the old timers knew how to cook, knew how to save, and knew how to keep stuff up to feed their families. This day and time, children would just snub it up, snub their nose. A lot of children don't even know what good eating is anymore. Their favorite meals from McDonald's. Let me do this a little bit more. I shouldn't have to do much more. That should be getting thick some. So we'll do that. Of course, we got to keep checking on our meat. And I hope that, now your cake may bake sooner than what it's supposed to, and it may bake later than what it's supposed to. Okay. Just back and forth. Yeah, I think it's getting thick enough. I think so. One thing about it, it's got water in it. It'll cook down if you need it to. The water will cook out. But if you're going to do it with cornbread and potato soup, that's it. I'll let that cook just a little bit more. This is done for sure. Keep it here so I keep it warm. You don't have none, so. Well, I'll keep close check on that now because it's beginning to brown.
So what are you looking at to determine whether it's done there?
If it's still got some, like it's liquid fine,
Okay.
then that I know it's not done yet. So we'll do that we'll try 10 more minutes on that. Okay, I believe this is done enough.
Go.
These are good, like in the evening, get your piece of cornbread and put the fat back on it and eat it. My granddaughter loves this. This is, I'd say they ate a lot of fat back growing up in the older days and stuff, because probably that's what they had. There you go. That's still not done. There you want.
All right, guys. Well, we have a wonderful meal here that Ann has prepared. Tell us everything. Let's go back over everything that you've made here today.
Okay, this is cornbread, and that recipe was on the last video. This is cream-style corn cut off the cob, fried green tomatoes. This is salt pork or fat back, and this is potato soup and the apple cake.
Wow, we got a good meal going on here today for sure. I really like the stories you're always telling about different things. A lot of times you don't see me. I'm sitting over here while she's cooking all the way, but I'm listening to what she's talking about. And Ann is, you've still got your Facebook going on. Did you ever get your YouTube up and going yet?
I've got the YouTube on, but I've not filmed anything because I have to edit too. I'm not for sure how to edit. So yeah, hopefully within this week, I will let you know.
That's the hard part, the editing. The filming's one thing, and then the editing and putting it together, and that takes a little bit of time. But she is on Facebook under Ann Baker. I'll try to put the link down there in the description and in the first comment. And I also put the recipe. I think you sent the recipes to me already. And so I'll put the recipes in the bottom of the description. And make sure to send her a Facebook friend request, and then she puts stuff on there. I told her just take pictures of things and then add the recipes. You don't always have to, do a video. And she's been coming here now. This is her third time, and we're so glad to have her back, and looking forward to getting something to eat. Guys, make sure to subscribe to the Appalachian Channel also, and leave Ann a comment. We love your comments. So let us know where you're watching from, and if this reminds you of when you was growing up, seeing your mom or your grandma or whoever cooking. Let us hear some of those stories that you have too. So guys, we love y'all. God bless you. See you on the next video. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.